So I was talking to one of my clients on a one-to-one Zoom call. This is somebody that's working directly with me. Their name is, actually I'm not going to drop their name, but basically they run a e-commerce company. They sell like $600,000 to $700,000 a month worth of stuff, like e-commerce products, physical products, and they're wanting to start consulting and coaching other e-commerce companies on, selling their own or building their own company to that level. And it was funny. These are people that obviously have authority. And so it's interesting. I think this is a helpful story for a lot of people, because a lot of people ask this question: oh, what gives me the authority? What gives me the authority to become a coach? What gives me the authority to become somebody who sells my knowledge or consults other people? And it's funny because a lot of beginners have this, and they think that because they're a beginner that they have this feeling. But the reality is, people that are doing millions of dollars a year getting into business consulting still feel like they don't have the authority to do it. And so I think that's just an encouraging idea. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how I answered that question and how I reminded them that they have the authority that has now led to them closing a few of their first $15,000 to $20,000 consulting clients, just using organic marketing and some ideas that we have. So enjoy. So first we have to think about what authority actually is and why people pay for proximity to authority. So really, authority is just very clearly having taken the steps that somebody else desires to take in their own life or their business and gotten the results from those steps that you've taken. It's really just personal results or results you've gotten for your clients or something like that, right? That's all it is. And so whether it's, massive results like building a multi-million-dollar business, or it's smaller results like, being able to, dress nicer and have a better fashion sense, whatever it is, it's results. And so you can build a consulting business around those results because you're one step ahead of your market. And so it was funny, I'm on this coaching call. These guys that literally do hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in selling physical products. And they still felt like they didn't have the authority. And so the way I answered that question was I said, look, zoom out to 10 years ago. And this is an exercise you can do yourself to really understand the authority that you have. Zoom out to 10 years ago, because they started their business about 10 years ago. And if you're a younger guy, you're 17, 18 years old, you can still do this. There's still things that you've learned in that time that would be applicable to other people who are even older than you. But zoom out to 10 years ago and ask, what could I have told myself 10 years ago that would have sped up where I've arrived today in my results by, anywhere from 2 to 5 years? And if you can think of some things you could have told yourself, then odds are that's what you're going to be teaching your clients. That's what you need to be teaching your clients, is the things that you've already experienced. Another thing that I had them do is I actually had them go out and spend the day. They got coffee together. They're brothers, and they got coffee together, and I had them, actually go through the timeline of their company. So from day one, its origination and its founding, to today, what have been the major, most important 3 to 5 decisions that they've made that allowed them to build the business that they've built that not everybody tends to make? So it's a very specific question. What are the decisions you've made that not every business in your sphere tends to make that enabled you guys to get the results that you've gotten today? And when they sat down and really thought it through what those decisions were, they then realized they had about 4. They came back with 4 major decisions that they made, and then we took those 4 and we turned them into frameworks that other people can attempt to replicate. So for example, one of the 4 was cash flow management. When they had a lot of cash come in, and a lot of e-commerce companies, they have a lot of cash come in, and instead of that cash being reinvested back into the business, they see that cash as being evidence that their business is, good enough, and they can plateau there and they can take those profits and run a lifestyle business. But then they decided to reinvest every single penny and continue to grow their brand and grow their presence online, to where it is today, where it's almost $10 million a year. It's almost a $10 million a year business. And so they said cash flow management was one of these things, taking every single profit, every single dime, and figuring out a way to give it leverage back inside of the company was one of the things that we did. This is them talking. One of the things that we did that nobody else really seems to do. They seem to get to that, $1 million a year mark. They profit about $30,000, $40,000 a month, and they decide, I'm good there. Whereas with them, they decided that every single dollar, other than what they absolutely needed to live, was going to be put right back into the business. And so that was one of the things that they talked about. And so one of their frameworks is figuring out where to put the capital inside of your company, right? So you went back. What are the major decisions you made? One of them was cash flow management. We turned that into a framework that other people can utilize and implement into their own business. And so now when they're on sales calls, when they're talking to prospects, and when they're asking, so what exactly am I going to get? They have a very clear answer. They're like, look, these are the 4 things that we teach. This is how we teach them. This is how you're going to get results with them. If you do what we tell you to do, you're going to get results, because these are the major 4 things that allowed us to grow our business to where it is today. And a lot of the time, the reason somebody doesn't feel like they have authority is because they haven't taken the time to zoom out and go back to their past and look at the major decisions that they've made, or look at the major discoveries that they've had along the way that allowed them to get the results that they have today. They haven't taken those things and turned them into frameworks that other people can implement into their businesses or their lives as well. And so I would encourage you, if you feel like you don't have the authority, to actually zoom out, go back, look at what you've achieved, look at where you've come from, where you've been, and what you did, and the decisions that you made, the lessons you've learned along the way, and turn them into frameworks that other people can learn, and limit yourself to 5 max, because if you do like 15 frameworks, then guess what? Your clients are going to be overwhelmed. They're not going to feel good about their investment. They're going to feel like you have too much for them, which leads to them, like, it leads to, you know, analysis paralysis, information overload, and they don't get any results. So for example, with our programs, we only have like 4 major pillars, 4 major frameworks that we implement for our clients, and that gets our clients to, you know, $1 million a year plus with their coaching and consulting businesses, because they're very straightforward about, this is exactly how you build your offer. It's exactly how you get qualified sales calls on the calendar. This is exactly how you handle those calls, and this is exactly how you get great results and build a good community for your clients. And so just very, very straightforward, very simple. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you. This is how to know if you are an authority in your space, and this is how I help my clients feel, and not just know that they're an authority, but really feel like they're the authority and be able to own that, and own that identity, and own that self-image when they're doing their dealings online.